Hi friends, Casey here with Triple K Art Studios. Let's do some hand building with some Play-Doh. So really quickly, I wanted to do a real short video just to do some hand building. Didn't get to get into much clay this year because of this nice timing of our nice friend, the coronavirus. So we're going to take out some Play-Doh and just have some fun with some hand building techniques. So when you take out the Play-Doh, which this Play-Doh is kind of old, it's from probably Kaylin's birthday last year, so it's kind of mixed a few other colors in it, but it's going to be just fine for what we're intending to have the purpose of it for. So I'm going to squeeze the Play-Doh, squeeze it until it's nice and warm. The heat from your hand is what softens the Play-Doh and allows you to build it a little bit easier. A lot of students get very impatient, especially with modeling clay, and they expect it to be moldable as soon as they get it out. Well, you have to activate it. Basically, you're taking your hand and you're warming it up and you're making it easier for you to build. So we're going to start with the most basic form of hand building. We're going to turn this lump of Play-Doh into a ball, and we're going to use our hands. We're not using any tools, just our hands and just some Play-Doh. So I'm going to place this ball in my hands and we're going to roll it. And if you don't have Play-Doh, I will post some links of some homemade modeling dough recipes. You can make it really easily at home with cornstarch and flour and all sorts of really simple ways to make some dough that you can play with at home. So I'm taking my hands and I am rotating them back in a circular motion, and they are opposite of each other. You can also do this on the table. You can place the ball on the table and just applying even pressure all around it, you can roll that into a ball. A ball is the very basic form, the simplest form. You need to be able to make a ball before you can do anything else with hand building. So what can I do with my ball? Several things. I can take my ball and I can squish it with my hand, and I can turn it into what looks like a pancake. This is called a slab. And I can use my hands and my fingers and I can flatten this slab out where it's very thin. It almost looks like pizza dough now, right? So many ideas, so many things I could make with this. I could make a pizza, I could make a taco. I know we kind of think about food a lot at the elementary level, but there's also other things you could do with this. You could turn it into a hat. You could turn it into a bowl. So many things you can do with just a slab. You can take a cutting tool and you can cut designs into it and cut letters and shapes out of it. You can take a pencil, you can write on top of the slab. So there's many things that we can do just with this basic form of the slab. You can also cut it into squares and you can stack them up together and you can build structures with slabs. So the slab's a very important thing. So let's get back to our ball. I'm going to roll another ball. I hope that you are doing this along with me. If not, I hope that you go buy some Play-Doh and you do it tonight and you build your muscles and your arms and your wrists and you make your arms stronger by playing with Play-Doh tonight. So we're going back to the ball. Another thing I can make with my ball is I can, instead of turning my hands circular, I can go back and forth. And as I'm doing that, I am applying slight pressure. And as you can see, my ball is starting to turn into a different type of form. This is called a coil. This is a very big coil right now. I'm going to place it on the counter and I'm going to apply pressure, back and forth motions, and as I'm doing that, I am pulling it with my hands and it's getting longer. So many possibilities with one of these guys. I can see how long I can get my coil without it breaking. So I'm starting in the middle, spreading out my fingers, pushing back and forth. I'm starting to get very thin in the middle, so I have to watch that. I don't want it to break, as you can see that. Just like that, it just broke. That's okay, we're going to throw this part away, and we're going to keep working on one of the broken halves. Many possibilities with coils. Kids can practice letters, numbers, they can break off pieces. So right here, I can make the letter K out of my coil. Also, you can make snakes, you can make all sorts of fun animals with this. It's like a little snake on my wrist right now. You can make what's called a coil pot, which is really fun. You have to start with a base. So I'm going to turn this coil into a base. I'm going to roll it like this. It almost looks like a snail shell or cinnamon roll. And then I can take the other coils, I'll take the smaller one and just show you how we can build it. And you can start placing the coil on top of that base, and you can build up with that coil. So you're making what looks like a wall, and you can stack those coils up. You can take your fingers, you can pinch them down and blend it in. So there's all sorts of fun things you can do with coils. One of my favorite things to do with a coil is to include the slab form with it. So here's my coil. I'm going to pinch it and turn it into a little slab. So here I am, I'm just pinching it, just flattening it out, just like this. Made it flat like a coil. So I'm going to take one end and I'm going to curl it in, and I'm going to start rolling it. I very carefully, very gently roll that coil up, and it's even on the bottom, rolling it all the way up. And when I get to this point right here, I take my fingers and I spread it out. I get inside of there and I spread out that Play-Doh, spread out the coils from each other, and it's little rows. It's one of my favorite things to do with a coil. And you can decorate with, you can put the rows on top of your little coil pot that you made. All right, the last thing I wanted to show you was another very simple form that you can do with Play-Doh and hand building. You start out with your ball. We start out with balls with everything. It's just the first most simple form. Stick your finger in it, just like a plum. See that hole right there? You're going to make this hole bigger. So you're going to take your fingers and you're going to pinch it, but then you're going to spin that ball as you're pinching it. And if you are any familiar with clay building and you've done these before, I'm sure a lot of you know, this is called a pinch pot because I'm pinching it. And you want to flatten that bottom. My kids always giggle when I say it, that it needs to have a nice flat bottom. Flattening that bottom or pinching the walls, and you want consistency. You want it to be the same all the way around. And there's a little pinch pot. And these are important things to know for clay building. And there's air dry clay you can buy at Hobby Lobby. You can order it online from Amazon. You can buy it at Walmart. So there are many ways that you can make sculptures just with these very simple hand building techniques. I hope you get out the Play-Doh. I want to hear about it. I would love to see some of your roses. It's one of my kids' favorite things to do in art class when I show them. I hope that you have a good evening and a great weekend, and I'll try to get some more videos up so you can get creating. Thank you. Have a good night.